We're doing it.
Heck yeah.
We are in it. New campaign. You boys excited?
Heck yeah.
Yes.
Pumped.
Very excited.
I've been told about 2E for the past 2 years and how it trumps every other tabletop RPG in existence.
I hear it's good.
Yeah, right? Anytime we run into a problem, Caleb's like, 2E, they fixed that.
They fix a lot of stuff.
Every time, man.
Hopefully you'll see that.
It's a perfect system, no flaws.
I didn't say that either.
I said that. All right, well. Hello and welcome, everyone, to the very first episode of Crown and Conquest. We're going to be playing through the Pathfinder Adventure Path Kingmaker, where our brave players will face orcs, gnolls, and possibly demons. My name is Jake. I will be the devilishly handsome DM for this adventure, and I'm, of course, joined by our players Aaron.
Hey.
Abe.
Hey.
Alex.
Hello there.
And Caleb.
Hi.
You kind of killed me. We had an A thing going on, Caleb. So if you could maybe
Thanks, Caleb.
adopt a new name.
I mean, you started it off with a different one. I don't know.
I'm the GM. I'm allowed.
I'll
If
just
you
take
notice
one
his-
of Aaron's. He's got an extra.
No. If you notice, his outline is different. That means he could be without an A. We all exist on these little paper squares. We have to be A's. They're gonna change.
I'll rename my character with an A name. That's good enough.
That'll work. All right, let me pull us into our very first map. You guys probably can't see right now. I need to pull your characters in. All right. So our adventure will begin at the hilltop Jamandi Estate. You all have been called here. The lady of the manor has set out a call for heroes. She's looking for brave adventurers to explore some unexplored lands to the west. A cobblestone path bordered by regal oak trees and well-manicured hedges winds its way up the hill for nearly a mile, past a 2-story guard barracks, the stables, and a dozen thatched roof cottages that house the families of the manor's servants and retainers, before finally reaching the manor itself. It is a sprawling 3-story structure, constructed of light gray, mortared stone surrounded by hedge-lined rose gardens and ancient oak trees. Window exteriors have an artistic yet functional iron grillwork. You stand in front of a set of double-reinforced iron doors. Adventurers and nobles from all across Brevoy, which is the area you all are in, and beyond have been waiting for the last hour. Servants have come to seat the adventurers in waves until only 4 remain, waiting outside between oak trees on the walkway leading to the manor's front door. These will be our heroes. And if you all would like, please introduce your characters, or describe them. However much detail you care to give.
I'll start. So Kai, this one down here, is a slim and maybe a little tall for a gnome. But you can see that she has been through what they call the bleaching. Her hair is a light gray. It's put up in a ponytail. It hangs about to her shoulder blades-ish. And her eyes are a slate gray, and they look almost lifeless. Barely a spark behind them. She's dressed in noble attire that is in sort of muted green colors. It seems like she wants to de-emphasize her very pale skin. Yeah.
Thanks.
I can go next. I am playing Taenn Indage right here.
Oh, that's how you say his name.
Sure. How do you think it was going to be pronounced?
Taenn Indage.
Oh, gosh. Glad it's not that.
Taenn Indage. Much better. Yeah, he is a half-elf, and he is a Brevik outcast. He is, being a half-elf, he was the son of a noble-born Brevik lord and the bastard child of an elf maiden. And he's kind of like an outcast, never got really accepted by his father's side of the family, harboring that a little bit. And I am a kineticist, and You can kind of see he has like stark white hair, and all of his clothes and his hair just seem to like move in the breeze a little bit, even if there's no breeze around. They just constantly look like, you know, movie ready, just like looking very cool, action star style. And he's got these, you know, kind of tribal pattern tattoos down his arm. And yeah, it's pointed, some slightly pointed ears, that sort of thing.
I will go next. I will be playing the exactly 6 foot tall Dex C4N, which his name, if you actually say it out, because he doesn't write the 4 typically, it's Dex Kane. He is features seem to be convincingly human, but if you were to get really close to him, it would reveal subtle signs of his true nature. He is in fact an android. He has been sort of hiding himself out. He's a little bit older. He's 62 years old, and his androids in Pathfinder 2e, basically as they age, they just become less human-like, start to look more robotic, android-ish. So his cheekbones and jawline, which used to have been like perfectly straight and all those features, they're now not quite. They look a little bit too precise for his age. He's wearing a long, dark trench coat with pockets for his investigator tools, and just kind of seems like he's been around the block many, many, many times. Well-traveled. Oh, one last note. Around his neck, he wears a simple silver gear-shaped pendant.
Nice.
Oh, I guess I should go, huh?
Yeah, ideally, yeah.
Jake's character next.
I'm like, sweet, what's next? All right, so I've got Javier. Javier Valverde Castejon de Abelar. He has some other names, but we'll discover those as we go. He's not young. He's, you know, in his late. I think I put an age on here, didn't I? Yeah, late 30s. But this is kind of his first foray out. He is decked out with a sword and a shield, and not sort of regal attire, but more flowy, flashy attire. You know, it looks like he's trying to make a statement.
Mm-hmm.
And he sort of saunters, carries himself pretty tall. So you would imagine he thinks himself the coolest person in any room he's in.
Mm-hmm.
Is the vibe you get.
Is this shield, are we talking buckler? Or are we talking like big?
It is just a standard shield, steel shield.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, as you all sort of wait for your turn outside these trees, after a short while... Ooh. Sorry, that was nice. I wasn't expecting the dog to make a noise.
Yeah.
A servant steps out and sort of motions you all to come in. Right this way, please. Right this way.
All right.
Sure. Just semi-hobble my way up.
My God.
That's so nice.
As you all step in...
Wow, there's a lot of people in here.
Yes, there are. It's a feast. So he sort of leads you over to here and indicates that you all should take your seats here. Some of the only seats available at this point. The spacious hall has been prepared for a great feast. Servants hustle and bustle about while several armed soldiers, the house guards, you can pretty easily deduce, watch over the hall from their positions against the east and west walls. To the north, a fire crackles away in a large fireplace. An iron lever secured by a lock adorns the fireplace's eastern face. 2 massive crystal chandeliers hang from the ceiling 20 feet above. The walls are decorated with painted murals of idyllic woodland scenes, nymphs frolicking amid waterfalls, satyrs dancing with fawns in wooded glades, and various winged fairy creatures flitting through the trees. 9 long tables are arranged around the central portion of the room, each holding plates, utensils, mugs, goblets, and full, ready-to-be-poured pitchers of ale, wine, mead, and water. The smell of roasted meat and other delicious scents fill the room, yet no food has been served.
Do you think the food is coming?
Yes.
I could eat a horse.
Man, I practiced my character voice so many times. I'm like, what is it? What is it? What is it? The first time you go back to starting a new character.
I know.
Yeah,
I nearly launched into Scottish there.
Do we like know each other, or we just show up together?
We just happen at the same time to show up.
I suppose that's up to you all. I had been assuming this was your first time meeting. Sort of a chance. You all just happen to be at the end of the line and get seated next to each other, but...
Okay.
Yeah, I guess unless anybody is from, like, Restov proper. I don't know if you guys are all from local.
From Brevoy, at least.
Okay.
I don't know where the
Yeah.
Ostolovs live. Don't have
Dex
that name right.
Dex spent a lot of time in Rostov, but he's just basically on the road all the time.
Orlovsky. Wasn't even close.
I think Dex sitting across the table probably sees Javier sort of lean back, looking around the room, I'm guessing, asking about the food. And just says, I too could eat a horse. That does sound quite delicious.
We got a little Jimmy Stewart vibes going on.
Very Deckard Kane.
Yes, that's true.
Do you think that was an inspiration?
I doubt.
No.
I doubt.
No.
That doesn't seem like
okay,
it.
Okay,
No.
I just
Maybe
throwing it out
close.
there.
Anything is purely coincidental.
After a short while, the doors to the west open, and these two step in. So you can see this woman and this man. And if you all would like to make society checks to see if you know who these people are, as they make their way to the front of the room. First check of the campaign, baby.
Alrighty.
This has got to be blind, yeah? Is that how this works?
Yes. Usually you want to make these kind of checks secret, that way, because if you roll a critical fail, I do get to give you incorrect information. But if
I
you
think
see that you rolled a 1, it kind of ruins that.
If you hold control and click the dice, that auto sets it up
It
for
just
blind.
automatically does it? Okay.
Yes.
And I don't
That's
think I
nice.
asked this before, but can anybody roll anything untrained? Like, are there any things that you're not allowed to roll?
I think there are a few. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but usually it's like more specific stuff.
Yeah, like
I
treat,
thi-
treat wounds requires you
Yeah.
to be trained in medicine. Couldn't
Probably
do
some
that
spell
untrained.
casting stuff.
Oh, like
Yeah.
actions associated with
Yeah,
those.
usually.
Oh, okay.
So core skills, presumably, you can attempt most of them if it doesn't require an action of something specific. Okay.
There we go. Somehow, Dex, you are the only... What would be the short... Dex? Is Dex okay?
Dex,
Your
yeah,
character?
he
Just
often
Dex.
that just goes by Dex. He does not go
Got
by his
it.
full name.
Okay. Dex, you recognize these two fairly easily. The woman you recognize as Lady Jamandi, the Lord of the Manor. And then the man you recognize as the mayor of Brevoy. And his name's
Oh, go ahead. What's his name?
Joseph Belamius.
Good. I'm going to remember both those
Was
names
that
when I relay that
Selenius?
to you.
That is... Here, you know what? Let me just pop it into chat. Selenius.
Joseph Selenius, and the lady's name is...
Jamandi Eldori. I will put that in chat as well.
Oh, is she a sword lord?
Dex would know, yes. Yes, she is. Actually, almost anyone. Actually, probably, Javier would also know. Because Javier is interested in sword lords, at least, right? If not,
Yeah, I mean, it's a sword science. I don't know how that works. I guess I have lore warfare.
warfare lore.
I don't know if that helps me at all there, but
Yeah, I mean, you probably would have recognized her, but maybe not the mayor himself.
Ah, I see it is Lady Aldori, Swordmore, and I believe that to be the mayor, Eophus Selimus. Name has always been hard to pronounce.
I did not vote for him.
Makes sense. Are you from Restov by chance?
Yes, Javier. My friends call me Javi. Nice to meet you.
Ah, yes. I am Dex. You seem recognizable. I can't quite place you. I don't know why, but it's nice to meet you.
I would toast you if I had a drink. Alas, he sort of looks down the table.
So as they enter, you kind of look them over. Obviously I showed you their image, but you can see the man wears very nice tailored clothing, very clearly a nobleman, whereas the woman appears to be more dressed for battle. She's got armor. She wears a fine leather coat over a sparkling mail shirt, and at her waist hangs an Aldori dueling sword, which Javi would certainly recognize. You also notice the sword has a bright silver pommel. So they make their way over to the head of the table where they remain standing, and they address the crowd. And as they do, the room falls quiet. Okay. So the man kind of puffs himself up and says, "Greetings, heroes! I am Yosef Selimus, Lord Mayor of Restov, and this," he gestures to the one beside him, "is Lady Jamandi Aldori. We both thank you for answering her call for heroes. You may be you may be few, but we only need the best for this great task." Lady Jamandi offers the room a broad smile before she speaks. "South of here, beyond Brevoy's border, lie the Stolen Lands. This disputed territory has been claimed time and time again by would-be settlers, but because the area has been a haven for bandits and monsters, it's never been held for long. Restov intends for this to change. If you have enough courage to drive off the dangerous denizens of the Stolen Lands, you can seize territory for yourself and name yourselves baronesses or barons. Restov intends to recognize the legitimacy of the new rulers of this land, and none of the other neighboring realms care enough to challenge you. We are prepared to provide backing as a trade partner and a military ally. If you claim the land, you will have my, and indeed all of Restov's support." Lady Jamandi raises her goblet. "But the details of your individual missions and charters into the Stolen Lands can wait. I raise my glass to you, brave heroes. For now, let us eat and enjoy the evening. Tomorrow promises to be a very busy day." And as she finishes speaking, her servants begin a flurry of activity, circling around the room, filling mugs with ale or fruit juice or water, whatever it is you choose to drink.
Salud.
Here, here.
Wow.
She's got like a flat look.
Worldly wine indeed.
Is there food?
There, in fact, it is a feast. There are going to be 4 courses in all, starting with crisp greens, lightly flavored with savory oils, and oh no, that's the next course.
Oh no.
No, the first course is the greens, lightly flavored with savory oils. And so, now we are beginning the feast, and it's sort of like a little mini game. Basically, the way this works, and if you all want to take some time to sort of have your characters actually meet, maybe now would be a good time for that.
Say, Javier, do you know these other 2 that we walked in with?
I do not believe I do. Paquito one, are you alright? You seem rather tired.
Oh, I'm fine.
Are you certain? I sense some seriousness in your voice.
Yes, I'm Kai. Nice to meet you.
Salute, Kai.
Hello, I am Dex. You can call me Dex or Dex Kane.
Dex.
Dex Kane.
And I'm Javier. My friends call me Javi, and if we drink together, you are friends. So you may call me Javi.
Javi.
Hello, Avi. I am Taenn Indage. Dex, you seem quite knowledgeable. I was surprised that you knew the ones that entered the room.
Yes, I have traveled far and wide. And spent many times in and around the city of Rostov and Brevoy. I know much of the society here. Are you unfamiliar with the mayor?
Oh, I'm familiar.
I'm not sure what
Didn't
that
remember
means.
at the time, apparently.
I see. Have you heard of the swordsmanship of Lady Aldori? I hear that her abilities are quite unmatched.
Yeah, she's
I can
very
take her.
impressive.
I would show her a map. Look at this guy over here. He looks like he knows his way around a sword. Pointing to Javi. I bet he could take her, even with all he's drank already.
No, Lady Aldori is, beyond my skill as it happens, but, maybe one day. But, anyone else? Nobody else will want to find themselves on the wrong end of my sword.
I'm intrigued by the proposition from the mayor and the swordsmith. I assume you all came for the same reasons.
The promise of being a baron of your own land, that's not something that comes by every day.
Well, I don't know that I would want to be a baron, but I do enjoy exploring, finding new lands, especially those out east where Sorry, I'm remembering a story of mine. Anyways,
Do you not wish to be accepted by the nobility?
Accepted in what way?
Among their ranks? Finally get the respect you deserve.
It is not respect that I look for, young man. I look for peace, and to teach those the ways. There are
Yes.
many things to learn.
You have the look of a wise old one. I suppose I should have guessed ahead of time.
I've taken many a moment to understand.
What's that on your face? You've got a smudge or something, maybe?
Oh, my apologies.
He just kind of reaches up with his hand and tries to move the smudge, whatever it is.
Did I get it?
Yeah, I guess so. It's a minor. Maybe I was seeing things.
Sometimes, even after a single glass of wine, it can splash onto my face if I'm not careful.
Floppy drinker.
He's got a drinking problem.
It's just the age, old friend.
Alright, well, we can continue on with the feast. So the way this works, obviously there are a lot of people at this feast, and so you guys are going to have a chance to meet some of your fellow adventurers. Basically, it's kind of got to kind of gamify it. This is going to take place over the next 2 hours in game time, hopefully not in real time.
I'm hoping for
But
real
we're
time.
basically, I mean, maybe you guys really stretch this out. But we're basically going to have 6 20-minute rounds. And in each round, each of you can choose one of the NPCs at your table, and I'll describe some of the other people here at the feast who you might be interested in. And you can basically try to talk to them, to try to become friends with them, or just kind of try to observe them to get a better sense of what they're about. And yeah, so that will kind of be what we're doing next. So I'm gonna run down this table and give you guys some of the highlights here. So right here, sitting right next to Taenn, is a little halfling. She has a comically oversized book that she is scribbling notes in furiously. Sitting across from her is a gnome. He has a very haughty air about him. And then right here, we have a human male. Looks like he carries himself very well. Clearly comes from some money. Across from him is this woman. She is very big, very tall, and has a massive greatsword with her, just kind of slung across her back.
Quick question while you're describing these. Are you
Yes.
actually showing character art?
Oh, are you not seeing these?
I keep hearing you say, like, this woman. I'm like, oh, what woman?
Oh, I see what I'm doing wrong. So let me restart. This is the halfling girl. Sorry,
there we
I was
go.
skipping a
No,
step.
you're
I
good.
was skipping a step. That's on
You're
me.
good, you're good.
And then we have the gnome. It looks like this.
Okay. Creep. Creep? You should say creep.
This was the nobleman.
Oh, look at that jawline.
You're John Travolta.
This is the woman with the greatsword.
Oh, okay.
And then next we have this woman right here. She is wearing a heavy suit of armor, and seems to be very composed. Seems to carry herself quite well. Sitting across from her is this very dour-looking dwarf. As you can see, he's got kind of a scar over his right eye. And then sitting in the corner is this very dour-looking half-elf woman.
She looks awesome.
It doesn't seem like she's terribly interested in conversing with anyone else. But those are your companions at the table. Why don't you guys just roll initiative? I'll just toss you guys into initiative, and we can use that to track who goes when.
Okay.
Wow. Really all right together. Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's, wow.
I'm trying to do that right.
Yeah, there should be here. Hang on.
Oh,
There we
I
go,
see.
I gotcha.
I see where I should have done it. My
Yep.
bad.
No, you're all good. So, alright. We can start with Javier. Who would you be interested in talking to or observing?
Awesome. I think. So does this halfling as pictured have a lute on her?
She does, yes. It's just, it's slung across her back
Sure.
at the moment. She's not actively playing it.
He will. I think he's probably close enough that he'll kind of, as opposed to like walking around the table, probably just lean over and say, hello, yes. I see you have el guitarra. How long have you been playing?
OMG. I've been playing for like the last 3 months. I am still learning. I have a lot to learn, but it is so much fun.
Oh.
I'm Lindsay.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I'm Lindsay.
Lindsay. Lindsay. Pleased to make your acquaintance. My name is Javier. I was trying to decide if he... No, he does. My name is Javier Valverde, Castejon de Abelar. But you may call me Javi.
Wow.
I love the sound of the lute. I never learned myself, and I'm always jealous of those who put in the time. Much like putting time into swordplay, putting time into music is noble.
I could not agree more. You look like, oh my gosh, okay, not to be weird, but you seem like the stereotypical hero. I'm looking for a hero to write a story about. I figured, what better place than here?
Yes, well, if I say so myself, I think I would make a good source material, but first we must find ourselves on an adventure.
You're so right. Why don't you give me a diplomacy check?
Yippee. I'm good at this one. And this is... Sorry for asking this again, but this is always blind when I do this, or...?
These will be fine. It's really just if you are trying to get information, it's better if those are blind.
Makes sense, okay.
Or, I guess, if there's another way you wanted to try to make an impression. I was kind of just going with, you guys were just conversing, but I realized now that that's how they're all gonna be, at least a little bit.
No, that makes sense, okay. I'll get used to the what is blind and what is not. Alright, there it is.
Alright.
Say 15.
Alright, she seems to be impressed with you, and I need to get a pen and paper to write this shit down.
Is that going to be the story of this entire campaign? There's gonna be, I feel like there's so much open-ended.
Probably. Yeah, there's a lot of open-ended and a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, sub-systems. Yeah, subsystems. A lot of, like, mini rule sets.
Yeah.
To keep track of. But alright. You seem to have gained a little bit of favor with Lindsay. Alright, next up, we got Dex.
I think Dex, rather than talking to anyone, would like to observe. He's big on observing people from a distance. I think he's probably mostly interested... He was really interested in the lady with the book, Lindsay. I think that's who that was, correct?
Yes!
Well, okay. What is the gnome that's sitting across from her holding? Is it a book also?
Yes, that is a book.
Maybe he will talk to him. I think, are other people sort of getting up and moving around, or are they just kind of situated?
Yeah. So I kind of put you here, but people are moving around, talking. So it's not like you're yelling across the table or you gotta, like, strong-arm your way in. You can kind of assume you can mill around to whoever you're trying to talk to.
Okay. I think he'll just go over to the gnome then. And just, sort of casually, greetings! The name is Dex. Who might you be?
The name is Tartuccio. You should be honored.
I am honored. It's very nice to meet you. I assume you're here for the same reasons as everyone. Looking for adventure?
Not just adventure. I'm going to be the lord of the Forgotten Realms, or the Stolen Lands, whatever they are. I'll be thinking of a better name for them anyways. Best not to get too used to that name.
Yes, of course. The Stolen Lands is a quite brutish name. It doesn't really roll off the tongue quite easily.
I couldn't agree more.
Might I ask, what are you reading?
Oh, this is my spell book. I like to be prepared.
A spellcaster, are we? Interesting.
Oh, yes. One of the mightiest in all of Bravoy, I'll have you know.
Any favorites of yours? Well, anything unique? I merely ask because I enjoy taking notes, learning more about various individuals in society. It's just quite unique to me.
A true spellcaster never reveals his secrets. Perhaps, if I decide to bring you into my fold, you can learn from the master.
I look forward to interacting with you more.
As you should. So if you wanted to discover this... Sorry, this is a subsystem I only just learned about like 5 minutes before we started. I didn't realize this was a thing. So you can roll, basically, to try to, like, feel out what maybe he likes or doesn't like or whatever. You could give me perception to just sort of keep an eye on him. Nature or society.
Ooh. Oh, I think that's a no-brainer. I think we're gonna roll society on that. Do you want me to do that blind?
No, please, because you'll know. Oh, actually, no. Yes, blind.
Blind.
Sorry, I didn't realize this had a crit fail.
You're good. I'm gonna roll blind. Here we go.
Right, and so that was society. Unfortunately, you're finding him a little hard to read.
I mean, he seems a little standoffish, so that checks out.
Yeah. Tragic. Alright, next up, we have Kai.
I will walk up to this lady.
Sorry, can you ping that one more time?
Yeah, this lady.
Yeah, how did I know it's gonna be her?
And says, well, you look like the quiet, brooding type. Not one for parties.
No. Not usually my thing. But call for adventure. It seems like a good way to maybe make some coin. Maybe, I don't know, start over somewhere.
Yeah, I could use a new, exciting start.
Jake.
What's your, oh, yes, I'm Kai.
She offers a hand.
Fix it.
Mhm.
You,
So-
from around here?
No, actually, I travel a lot. It's kind of a long story. What about you?
Yeah, I grew up nearby. That's all she offers.
Fair enough.
Jeez.
So what brings you here? Fame and adventure?
Excitement. I've been told I need a little bit in my life. So, looking for some fun and adventure.
Sorry. Well, this certainly seems like the place. I wish you luck.
Yeah, you too. See you out there.
Yeah. Maybe. What would you like? Would you like to try to discover information, or more make an impression?
I guess more make an impression, I suppose.
Okay. How? Sorry, I lost. Give me 1 second. That was Jake. I guess how would you like to try to make an impression?
Well, I don't know if anything really fits except for diplomacy there.
Yeah, I
Sure,
mean,
diplomacy
you
does.
you could have, have done something sort of outside of that. Like if there was a topic maybe your character knows about that we humans don't know about. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Sure,
Like if
sure,
it was
sure.
like if Abe's character was like, oh, I want to talk about the sword. I don't know enough about swords to carry on a conversation about swords.
Okay.
But a swashbuckler, you know what I mean? So we can kind of separate the checks from the chit-chat, at least a little bit.
Okay. Well, I think I still want to roll diplomacy for this one. That's alright.
Okay, no, totally fine.
Okay. Bam. Wow.
Yeah, alright. Yeah, somehow your natural charisma has paid off. And she seems... Oh, actually, she seems a little impressed, but not as impressed as Lindsay was.
Hard to impress.
Very.
And then we have... I'm sorry, remind me how to pronounce your character's name? Taenn?
Pain.
Taenn. Okay.
Am I allowed to approach the same person that somebody else did?
Absolutely.
Okay, because Taenn doesn't see half elves very often, I don't think. So he's very interested in half elf.
Fair enough. As you sort of walk up to her, she... Oh, good. More attention. Excellent.
How you? Hey, and he kind of points at his ears.
Oh, yes. Indeed.
You too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, how'd that happen?
Well, when two people love each other very much, sometimes a child is made.
Ah, so your parents loved each other. Must be nice.
Wow, you just come right up and say that, huh?
Where are you from? I haven't seen the likes of you around here.
Yeah, I'm sort of new in town. I travel a lot.
Interesting.
I take it you're a local.
Born and raised in Brevoy. You know, raised more or less, you could say.
Don't know what that means. Were you not raised here?
Some would call it being raised, others would call it, a trial.
Is it that bad around here? I haven't been here long. It seems, alright.
Generally, no, but my father was the worst.
Wow. You should maybe find someone to talk to.
Hey, look who it is.
I meant, maybe someone else.
I just was maybe hoping that you could draw on similar experiences. I don't know, and I could have a confidant that would kind of understand where I'm coming from, but it's okay if that's not the case.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not really the talking type.
Well, that's okay too.
How? I guess, are you trying to discover or influence?
I would definitely be on the discover side.
Okay.
I want to know.
I was really hoping after she said she doesn't into talking, you're like, all right, well, I'll just sit here in silence.
That's more or less where I went with that. Like, that's okay. Just stare.
Alright, also, something I realized I didn't mention, kind of leaning against the end of the table, is a massive scythe of hers.
I see. Yeah, so I would be trying to discover information about her, I suppose.
Alright. Why don't you give me either a perception check or a religion check?
Man, I almost put points in religion, but then I didn't.
Another character with no skills.
Yep. I realized that after the fact.
I love the consistency.
You have the lowest will save again, too. I sure hope so.
Oh boy.
So funny. Oh my gosh.
I don't even... My will is a +4.
Oh, gosh. Not seeming good.
How do I roll
Lowest
perception?
from the party. Amazing.
So if you have your character sheet up, on the very left,
In the middle.
below your AC, in the red bar. It's below your AC, above initiative.
Above initiative. Perception, here we go.
Yes.
It rolls blind.
Usually, you can roll this, probably.
Okay.
Oh, you should have rolled a blind. Oh, well, whatever.
Okay.
That's my
I
bad.
haven't rolled it. I didn't click the button. I went
Blind
back.
would be better. Sorry, I keep forgetting how the discovery stuff works. Alright, so you do succeed. So the way this works, let me pull up the rules again. You get to choose one of the following. You can either learn which skill to influence them has the lowest DC. You can do that multiple times. So if you learn the lowest, you can then learn second lowest, third lowest, etc.
Okay.
You can learn one of the NPC's personal biases, which I am interpreting as just reading a little bit of her personality section on here, because I don't know what personal biases means. One of their quote-unquote resistances, which really just means things they really don't like, or one of their weaknesses, which is just things that they really do like.
Oh.
So you get one of those.
Okay.
I can read them again, since that was kind of a long list.
Yeah, what was the second one again? It was...
The second one was personal biases, which
is just going to be
I'm just
like...
going to give you kind of a general
some of her-
overview of her vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. Beyond, like, just her outer appearance. I'll take that one.
Okay. So, this probably came across. She's not very used to social interaction, and generally tries to rebuff people who come to talk to her. As you're sort of sitting there in silence next to her, a few other adventurers come over, and you see that she pretty routinely redirects them over to the gnome Tartuccio, because he seems more than happy to talk to anyone who comes up to him. Let's see what else is here. You roll perception.
Indeed.
You have noticed she is pale, but like extremely pale. Like probably closer to how pale Kai is, like an unnatural pale. You don't necessarily know what that's about, but it's pretty obvious to you. Yeah, kind of generally she seems content to keep to her own and kind of observe things at a distance. But you do also kind of get the sense that underneath it, maybe she's, actually looking for some kind of connection. She maybe just doesn't really know how to achieve that.
What was her name again?
Jathal is how I am pronouncing this. Let me see if I can copy this. It's spelled like this.
Okay. Great.
Alright. So that is the end of round 1. The next course comes out, and it is... Sorry, give me 1 second. The second course is a spicy seasoned waterfowl.
Ooh.
And we are back up to Javier. Actually, I guess between rounds, some of the other characters interact a little bit. You see the tall woman with the great sword. She's loudly retelling a story of how she battled a troll and slew it with her bare hands. And you can see the woman in the full plate armor sort of scowling at her loud outbursts. And Javier.
I think Javier is going to approach the tall woman then.
Okay.
He was going to anyways. That was kind of the second person he latched onto after El Guitarra, or La Guitarra. Just due to the sword.
Hey, it makes sense. Man knows what
But
he
yeah,
likes.
after hearing the story of slaying a troll, his interest is fully piqued. So he'll walk over. Oh, the spicy duck. Have you tried? It's so good.
Yeah, I love any meat. She kind of clasps you on the back. Get down, friend.
He'll sort of bow and say, Javier Valverde Castejon de Abelar. Pleasure to meet you.
That is a long name. I'm a Miri.
That is not as long of a name. I find the short name easier to remember. You may call me Javi.
Javi, I like that, Javi. So, you fight anything impressive lately? I see that sword you're carrying.
Yes, I could not help but to notice your sword is quite large. The craftsmanship is interesting. Do you mind? He sort of gestures for it.
You see, she kind of hesitates, but she lets you look.
He sees the hesitation. He will sort of like peacefully draw his sword into his hands and like offer to her. If you would like to examine his weapon.
A fair trade. For now.
he sort of takes it and examines. Is there anything? I guess what like is it unique in any way?
It is huge. Like, not just a regular greatsword. This is like it's basically a large size greatsword.
Large
like,
size.
Yes. Like, it borderline does not make sense that she can use this. Like, it's wild that she's using it. And you can see there's some. It's hard to put your face. There's like runes on it. You can't really tell what's up with it, but something is definitely up with your sword, or with her sword rather.
Interesting. He'll sort of trace them and heft it a little bit, and I guess this is kind of what I wanted to do to make an impression. Is he's gonna try to sort of do some of his like fencing stances with this obviously much too large sword. So I assume this is going to be difficult. But he's gonna try to do some sort of performance style swings and things with it, just to kind of get the heft of it.
Okay. Yeah, give me. I would take athletics. I would take performance.
All right, we'll go. I can't talk you into acrobatics, can I?
If it was a finessable sword, maybe.
It's because it's a big sword. Okay, we'll
yeah,
do
right.
athletics.
It's like the size of your body. I don't think you can really.
That makes sense. We'll go athletics. We'll see how this goes.
Okay.
Oh, not well. 10.
Not amazing. Not amazing.
Oh.
So you sort of know the forms, right? You're a very trained swordsman, but this sword is so much heavier. Right, like, even if it was a regular greatsword, you would probably struggle with it, but with the extra size, you're just a little too clumsy, and you end up sort of dropping it a little bit. All right, trade back, we'll trade back.
My apologies, this is, quite impressive that you can handle such a sword. I'll sort of bow again, apologetically.
Hey, don't worry about it, it's gonna take more than that to hurt this thing. I got it off a giant, you know.
Wow, you fight this giant yourself?
Oh, of course. It was an epic battle. Let me tell you about it. And she launches into this long-winded story of an epic battle between her and this frost giant. And while she tells that story, we can move on to Dex.
All right. Maybe. I think Dex maybe just will then walk up to this this gentleman who looks like he's got the squarest jaw on planet Earth. You can just cut paper with it to strike up a conversation. He looks like. Does he look like he's maybe not royalty, but like something like he comes from some sort of nobility or something, or does he just look like he comes from wealth?
So you can notice that this is he's not hiding it or anything.
Okay.
Not only is he very well dressed, you notice he has a very distinctive sword that bears a house crest on it. Are you a local at all?
So Dex does travel between cities, dropping off like paperwork and like a courier almost quite often. So he's very familiar with Rostov and Brevoy.
Okay, yeah. Then you would pretty easily recognize this as House Varn. It looks like
Varn.
4 hatchets arranged in a circle.
Okay. Do I know anything about House Varn?
Why don't you roll me this would probably be a society check.
Okay. Blind again, presumably.
Yes, please.
You got it.
Okay. Very nice. So... Sorry, give me 1 second.
You're good. It's a lot of information to look up.
So the Varns, they are a moderately sized house in Brevoy. Specifically with him, you rolled very well. So you would actually recognize who this is. This is Mager Varn, spelled like this. and he is the third son of the Lord of the Varn line, essentially. So, not royalty is probably not the right word, but sort of nobility.
Nobility.
But not likely to inherit much.
Okay. I think Dex would walk up then and just say, "Oh, yes, I recognize the 4 hatchets in a circle. You must be one of the Vons, if I'm not mistaken."
Oh, a man of culture. The name's
God.
Maegor Varn.
Nice to meet you, Mega. Fun. The name is Dax.
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 A pleasure.
Dax with an E.
Dex! Ah, my apologies, my apologies. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, friend.
Yours as well.
What brings you to the Feast for Heroes? The Call for Heroes?
Well, of course, I'm always interested in exploring new lands and learning new things. I enjoy just devouring knowledge. You seem like a well-read man yourself.
Oh, yes, I certainly like to think so. Actually, I don't mean to brag, but I already know my assignment. I'm going to be setting up a new village out in Nomen Heights. This,
Heights. Is that
oh.
far from here?
It's quite a ways to the east. Maybe, once we're all set up, maybe I'll invite you to come visit sometime.
I would pick you up on the offer for sure.
I'm sure we have much we could learn from each other. Us adventurers need to stick together, am I right?
Yes, quite correct. It is always great to find a kindred spirit.
I couldn't agree more, and he sort of raised the glass in a toast.
Dex will also raise his glass of wine in a toast.
Well done. So would you like to try discovering or making an impression?
I think I'd like to just try to make an yeah, I think I'd like to make an impression here because I think Dex sees this as maybe an opportunity to just learn more
Okay.
in the future. It's sort of like another point of contact, if you will.
Sure. Okay. How would you like to go about this?
What are the options again?
So for influence, it's a little bit different for every person.
Okay.
You kind of describe maybe an approach you want to take, and I could, like, suggest something. A lot of times you can use, like, certain lores to maybe discuss something specific, or, you know, like, society for a more general, like, if, for instance, with him, you could use society if you wanted to talk about how best to set up his village that he was just talking about. That would be a good society check.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's fine. I don't know specifically what he.
You know he's nobility.
Yeah, I do know he's nobility. Maybe I could just talk to him about the sort of structural setup he has. Maybe not like constructing a village or putting one together, but really the hierarchy of various workers within the village and how that's going to work in this Nomen Heights area that he's going to be in.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. What lore, I guess? It sounds like you're targeting a lore, maybe?
No, I think more just general society. I don't
Society?
have a lore that I would target for that, I don't think.
That's totally fine. Society works too.
Or, I guess,
I thought
take
maybe
it
you were
back.
fishing for a lore.
No, I could target this just based off of like my knowledge and understanding of how the city of Restov works and how the hierarchy works there for different like classes and worker groups and nobility and like maybe if he would sort of mirror it off of that or something.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Okay, I'll go with that. Blind.
This can be public. The influence ones can be public.
All right, public it is.
Oh! That is our first 20 of the campaign! Alright. He is very interested. It ends up being a very engaging conversation. He's more knowledgeable than you would expect. A lot of times, you know, noble types, sometimes they talk a big game, but they don't have anything to back it up. But he's actually very well learned.
Okay.
And by the end, you guys are getting on very, very well.
Excellent.
Next up, we are back to Kai.
Kai is just going to turn to her left here, to Tartuccio, and say, "So, what's your deal? You like a scholar or something?"
Not merely a scholar. I am the greatest hope for the stolen lands.
She turns and looks at Taenn, rolls her eyes, sighs, and you can see her plaster on this smile that looks pretty genuine. And she turns back to Tartuccio and she says, "Oh my gosh, really? You have to tell me all about your studies? How are you going to save stolen lands? I'm so curious."
Oh, I am so glad you asked. First of all, and he launches into this tirade about how great he is, how he's gonna completely set up this utopia once he gets out there. And then he just goes on and on, if you let him.
I do, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I probably occasionally turn and look at Taenn and roll my eyes again, but yeah, let him go.
Love it. What, I assume this feels like an influence.
Actually, I was gonna see if I could ferret out some information, if
Okay.
that was possible.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Would you accept deception?
In this instance, I would accept deception.
Heck yeah. I will roll that black.
Yes, please. Alright, good roll. So your options, again, for learning, you can learn what skill has the lowest DC, one of their personal biases, which again I will just sort of summarize because I still don't know what that means, their resistances, and their weaknesses. Sorry, one of their resistances and one of their weaknesses.
Gotcha. She will learn one of his weaknesses.
Okay. I feel like I'm probably going to give you a second one because you probably guessed this. You kind of exploited it. Anyone who incorporates fawning, flattery, and compliments is going to get a reduced DC when checking him. So I'll let you pick a second one since you sort of already picked up on that.
Okay.
Naturally.
Then I will learn about her resistance.
Resistance of his. So it sort of goes hand in hand, honestly. His arrogance and sense of superiority makes you get the vibe that he would not respect you if he saw you fail at something. So basically, if you try to impress him and fail, it's going to be harder next time.
Gotcha.
Because you've kind of he already does it, he sees you as lesser already.
Okay.
Alright. Taenn, what you got for me?
I kind of want to go back to the half-elf girl
Okay.
a second time.
Just gonna hit you so much.
Yeah, I wanted to do a weakness. That was the
Okay.
other thing I was really interested in, so I don't know how I get there, but I'm probably like still hanging out over there.
If you want to just you can kind of just observe her.
Yeah, okay.
Like, hopefully in a non-creepy way. I guess we'll see how your roll is. Maybe it is in a creepy
Sure.
way.
Perception then?
If you want perception, religion would also work. And I guess on the off chance that you have a very, very specific lore. Let's see if you do.
I have politics.
Yeah, that is not it. Okay, so religion or perception.
Okay. We'll go perception, I suppose.
Alright, blind if you'd be so kind.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent! Okay, and you wanted to know a weakness.
Yeah.
So, as you watch her, you see, you already know she brushes people off constantly. People come up to her, and she is very terse, very short with them, and deflects them away from her. But you can see every time she does it, when they actually leave, there's like a sadness about her. Like she was hoping someone would actually take the time to try to break down her walls. What this means in game terms is if you successfully use diplomacy to influence her, future checks using diplomacy will be easier. And that brings us to the top of the order again. Let me see what our fourth... I believe this is now the main course. The main course arrives. It is tender roast boar.
Is this the third course or the fourth course?
This is the third.
Okay.
So, this is the third round of impressing people.
Okay.
Sorry, Alex, who did you just talk to? Or learn about?
Jathal, the half-elf girl
The
again.
half-elf again.
So I think in my head, Amiri's story of this giant has taken this entire time. And the food is coming out, and Javier is enthralled. And when she wraps up, he's gonna launch into his own story. He'll say, "Oh, it's quite impressive. It reminds me of when I was traveling through southern Rossland, and through the jungles and through the thick forests. I had just begun learning swordplay. Traveling through the forest is always dangerous, and I heard a noise behind me, and I turned around quickly, and there before my eyes was El Gato de Monte, El Jaguar. It's large cat, big jaguar. And I looked him in the eyes, and I saw him, and we stared at each other, and we understood that it can only end one way. The jaguar, El Jaguar, pounced at me, and at the last second I stepped to the side, stabbed him through the heart with my blade.
Oh. Truly an impressive story. Why don't you give me a roll of diplomacy, performance?
I would do
Diplomacy?
yeah.
Okay.
As an attempt to match the story or
Sure.
come somewhat close. Here we go. That's better. 19.
That is quite a bit better. She loves the story. She several times she sort of exclaims loudly, "Yeah, that's what I'm talking about." And she's pretty deep into her cups at this point, but she holds her own pretty good. But she's loving the story. And yeah, so you guys are doing pretty all right now. All right, let's move on to Dex.
Has anyone not been spoken to at this point?
Did we talk to the armored lady or the dwarf?
That's
I feel like
both of
not.
them.
Those are the
No.
two. Those two have not been spoken to yet.
Okay.
They don't. They're not like calling out to any of us in particular.
Yeah.
Armored Lady's kind of calling my name, but I was too interested in the half elf, so I
Yeah.
kept going back there.
The armored lady was getting annoyed by the stories
The
that the
storytelling,
lady
yeah.
with the big sword was telling, right? Okay.
Yeah. She seems to hold herself, I mean, obviously better than Amiri, the big sword lady.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
even just generally, she seems very sort of prim and proper.
Okay. Maybe Dex will go over and try to strike up a conversation with her then.
Okay. Love
I'm trying to think of how he'd say hello. Maybe sort of walks over right at the beginning, right at the end of maybe one of Miri's stories when this prim and proper lady is kind of, I don't know, rolling her eyes or something. Dex kind of just sits down and says, "Oh, yes. Sometimes stories can be quite exaggerated. Don't you think?"
Quite. I suppose some people just don't know how to handle themselves.
It's quite true. Often, people do not know how to handle themselves. But you seem quite calm, listening. Not really worked up.
Yes, well, it's important for a warrior to know how to handle themselves. My name is Valerie, and she offers a hand.
The name is Dex. Nice to meet you, Valerie.
A pleasure. What brings you here?
Well, of course, I'm always looking for new lands to explore. People to meet, to just learn. I am a man of books and discovery. And this just seemed like an opportunity to learn more about some untamed wild lands.
A scholar, a man of knowledge. I respect that.
Well, you can never learn too much, as a friend of mine used to say. It's always important to digest as much as you could.
Sounds like a very wise friend.
She was, yes. And yourself, what brings you here to Stolen Lands?
Seems like a good way to do some good in the world. My path has been a little convoluted. I'm hoping that this sets me on a more noble path.
Good in the world, yes. Darkness rises, evil rises from the east quite often, so providing some good in the world it's beneficial to all. It's quite a noble task indeed.
Couldn't agree more. What approach are you trying to take here?
Maybe just find a good connection with her about sort of this lofty goal of just promoting good values. Hers seems to be much more in the way of just like sort of protection almost, or preventative measures, whereas mine is like learning, or Dex's is like learning and sort of finding a common ground. So I'm hoping maybe we can sort of coalesce on that in some manner, sort of find a middle ground of like, we're both on this sort of important goal, important mission to bring forth goodness into this realm of the Stolen Lands.
Okay, I like that. Diplomacy or society would probably be your two best bets.
Well, society, huh? All right.
Okay.
Blind?
Yes, you're influencing, right?
Yes, I think so.
Then it does not matter.
Okay. We'll just roll this, not blind.
Whew, easy. Yeah. You seem to strike a chord with this. You guys get along quite well.
Okay. Very nice. What was her name again? Just so I can write it down. I was too busy talking to write.
Valerie. Yes.
Valerie.
Here, I will give you, because it's not spelled the way I've ever seen that name spelled.
Oh, okay.
Not that she spelled it for you, but just for consistency.
Can you write that down for me?
Oh, of course. Actually, something else that probably doesn't come across, and I don't know if this is something Dex would even necessarily care about as an android, but she is, as you sort of go up to approach her, she is strikingly beautiful.
Yep. Don't know that would matter one bit to Dex,
but just, like, objectively, he goes up to her and he's like, I see. A very symmetrical face.
Okay. All right.
And that brings us back to Kai.
All right. She's going to lean across the table a little bit here to Lindsay and say, excuse me, did I hear that your name is Lindsay?
Yes, I am. I'm looking for heroes. What's your name?
I'm Kai. I'm not much of a hero myself, but I don't know if you've heard about this Tartuccio guy. And she kind of gestures to him. But he has the grandest plans to deal with stolen lands.
Oh, he's told me. He's told me several times.
I heard you're looking for a hero, and it sounds like his plan is just perfect.
Maybe.
Oh, you don't seem convinced. Tartuccio, did you explain it all?
Oh, she must not have understood me. Let me explain it again. And he launches into it for the umpteenth time.
So
you?
I'm
Go
kind of trying to play Lindsay to get on Tartuccio's good side. Is my goal.
Okay.
With this.
Okay. I like that. Okay. Yeah, why?
I'm throwing a wrench in here, I guess. Sorry.
No. I like it. It's good. I'm just trying to think of the best way to go about this. I feel like deception makes the most sense, probably?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah. I would also
Alright.
take, like, diplomacy,
Nah.
performance, maybe.
Deception's good. I'm happy.
Okay, let's do deception.
Man, we've been rolling well. Except
Yeah,
for
no kidding.
Javier's lifting of the giant greatsword.
Yeah, I mean, that was literally a big lift. But that seems to work really well. Lindsay doesn't seem to be super thrilled to be having to hear about this again.
Yeah. Well,
You don't get the sense that she's mad at you, though. It seems
Okay.
like she just does not like Tartuccio for some strange reason that you can't put your finger on. Is this? No, that can't. Oh, you learned about him last time. That's why you don't have any points yet. Alright, yeah, so that is some progress with Tartuccio. He seems pleased to have an opportunity to talk about himself again. Even though that's all he's been doing. He clearly relishes at the opportunity to continue talking about himself. Let's go back to Taenn.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna approach this dwarf guy that we haven't talked to yet.
Alright.
See what he's about.
Let me pull him up. Yeah, so you walk up to him and he kind of looks up at you. Oh, hello.
Oh, why this sour face?
Well, all things come to an end, even a feast as grand as this.
Ah, yes, entropy.
I see you've heard of our Lord Grotus.
I've dabbled here and there. Not really my cup of tea, but you know.
There are few who can accept his tales of the end times, but I've dedicated my life to his works. My name is Harem. Harem, probably. Yeah, harem sounds bad now that I say it out loud. It's probably more of an I sound at the end.
Harem.
Harem, yes, that's way better.
I see. Well, that doesn't seem to have made you very happy.
It's not about being happy or sad. In the end, it's about facing our fate.
And, what fate do you believe that to be?
The end of all things.
Ah, yeah. I once was in this... No, I wasn't in this. I was gonna say I was in a cult that wanted to talk about the Devourer consuming us all. That... I was not in a cult. I've heard of a cult, though. And the Devourer consuming us all, that sort of thing.
Well, it's not a cult.
Oh no,
It's
I'm sure
a
he
church.
is on the up and up.
I can assure you, Lord Grotus is a respectable god in the pantheon of gods. He grants me the strength to deliver his message of hopelessness. Wow. He's a fun guy.
Yeah, Kai should have talked to this guy clearly.
Sounds like Kai should be worshipping Grotus.
Right?
What approach would you like to take with this man?
I guess just discovery.
Okay.
What?
I've got 3 options. For
Yeah. What are they?
you. Perception, of course. Religion. And dwarven lore. Yeah.
You got that right, for sure.
It's not impossible.
All right. Time for perception again.
Okay. Yeah. Just good enough. What would you like as a reminder? Skill that has the lowest DC. Quote-unquote personal biases.
Yeah, I think I'm just doing personal biases again.
Personal
Let's get a feel
biases?
for this guy.
Okay, yeah. So obviously, as he said, he's a servant of Grotus. He's basically a cleric of the end times. Keeping your eye on him, he seems like a calm, level-headed guy, and he's not necessarily bad at talking to people. He does have a tendency to be a total downer. He has a tendency to say things like, abandon hope, and embrace the inevitable. I feel like you kind of already got all of this, so I'm okay with you getting one of the other ones as well. I don't want to shortchange it here.
Okay. Let's do weakness.
Weakness. You've noticed, kind of keeping an eye on him. Oh, this is so unfortunate for you guys, actually. His face seems to light up when he gets the opportunity to talk to a fellow dwarf.
Oh.
Yeah, that's super unlucky.
Yikes.
But yeah, if you were a dwarf, you would get +2 on checks to talk to him. Yeah, that's kind of tragic. And so that brings us back to the top of the order again. The dessert course is served, and it consists of quote-unquote fine desserts and cheeses.
Okay.
I suppose I'll
Great.
leave it to your imagination what fine desserts are.
Oh, I'm not certain that I have room for this tiramisu.
Well, there's always room for pud.
Who is your freaking character? God, he's so weird already.
Javier, what you got?
Oh man. All right. Where are we at? Where are we at with these guys?
So this is round 4. You guys get this one, 5, 6. You get 3 more essentially.
This 1 + 2 more. All right.
Yes. So far, you have actually gotten a little bit of progress with just about everyone.
Okay.
It seems like Dex and Megarvarn have hit it off the best so far.
Okay.
But obviously, you have been building a rapport with Amiri. So, you might have a bit of an in there as well.
All right. I guess the goal of this is just to. I guess I was trying to get like as many people to like me as possible, which I think is Javier's MO. So he's gonna make his way around the table to. I think I don't know. I was gonna say yeah. No, he'll make his way over to Valerie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think drawn by what you've described as a very beautiful affect that she has. And he will introduce himself. Javier, Valverde, Castejon de Abelar. At your service.
Ah, a fellow swordsman, charmed. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Valerie.
Valerie, where are you from, Valerie?
I've been doing a lot of traveling lately. But originally I was actually, if you can believe this, I used to be a noble. I trained for quite some years to be a champion of Shaylin, but ultimately found a different path for myself.
What's, interesting. What caused the change? I, myself, am a student of the sword.
Well, there was a little too much emphasis on my good looks. It seemed my whole life had been planned for me, and I wanted to chart my own path. Something that focused more on my own abilities, something that was more in my own control. You can only be told that your good looks are all you're good for so many times before it starts to grate.
Yes, I have run into that myself as well. It's like straight close. Yeah, I think he will, he'll sort of, I guess, commiserate with the, or connect with the idea of striking out on your own. You know, when I heard of this opportunity, I thought, what better way than to prove my own worth, to show that I am not just my father's son, and to be more than just the son of a baker.
I'll drink to that.
Salute.
Diplomacy check?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what I'm just doing this whole time. Is just
hey, man.
diplomacy. All these guys.
You're good at diplomacy.
Nope. That is a 7.
I will remind you, you do have a hero point. Everyone starts with 1 hero point, and you get 1 per session.
Oh, and it's like a
it's a free reroll of any d20. Well, I say it's free, it costs a hero point. But you know, that option is available to you if you so chose.
I'll let him fill this one, just because I think she's also overheard his bravado a little bit, and that's probably not.
Sure. Yeah. I think as Javier goes, he wanders a little too much into like braggadocious territory. And you see she sort of crinkles her nose. And is kind of turned off by it. That brings us back to Dex.
Okay. I think Dex is going to go right back to talk with Magervarn.
Okay, love it.
Meg, I was just talking with Valerie about some sort of noble quests into this stolen lands. Tell me, what exactly is your plan when you arrive at Noman Heights?
I'm going to establish, as I mentioned before, establish my village, finally make a name for myself and start building with my own 2 hands, my own kingdom.
Yes, it is always good to get your hands a bit dirty, not in the bad sense like you're doing anything dangerous or against the law, but just really building something of your own.
Yes, I couldn't agree more, although I've been given to understand it will be quite dangerous.
Of course. It is called the Stolen Lands, after all. I can only assume that means that the roads are treacherous, especially as you head east.
Yes, quite. But it seems we're in good company. I imagine any one of you lot could hold your own out there.
Maybe banded together, but separate, on our own, likely to be picked off the roads on the way to where we're headed.
Yes, you know, an old friend once told me it is teamwork that makes the dream work.
Yes. I'm gonna have to write that down.
Please do. And Magervarn, Don't
Yes.
attribute it, please.
Scribbles in his book.
Now, I believe are you the youngest brother of the Vons?
Quite, yes. It is... I like to view it as an opportunity to build something for myself, rather than simply inherit something from my father.
Yes, of course. Hence, wanting to build something of your own.
Precisely, see?
I could tell immediately. Originally meeting you, I would not have guessed that you were a third son. I would have guessed you were the firstborn. The way you hold yourself. But it does make sense, talking about this Nomen Heights, that you would be wanting to do something to sort of bring yourself out from underneath just the name of House Vaughn and do something for yourself.
You flatter me, sir. I look forward to working with you in the future. Truly, you must come visit Varnhold once I have it set up, once I have it established.
Of course, I would gladly visit. Maybe there is more that we can learn together along the way.
I certainly hope so.
Man, I think I'm just trying to talk this guy up. That's all. That's all Dex is really doing. Just trying to sort of just build on this sort of common line here, talking about doing something on their own and sort of heading out in this sort of exploration. I keep saying sort of exploring these lands together.
Okay, yeah. So, I would take a society again would be a good pick. I don't know what lores you have, but there's any number of lores that probably would be appropriate.
Yeah.
You could always do like diplomacy.
Man, I don't see any reason to stop ruling society here.
Yeah, hey, you're good at it.
I feel like this is the rule. All right, here we go. Is this private or hidden?
No, this one can be public.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. That will do it. Alright, so that is another point for Mega. Alright, yeah, you guys getting along swimmingly.
Okay.
Kai.
So she's been listening to Tartuccio's talking for a long time. And she keeps hiding her face in a mug of ale. And eventually, she has to get up and leave for a bit. So she goes back to talk to Jathal. She sits down across from Jathal and says, "Sorry if I'm bothering you, Jathal. I was with Tartuccio, and he is a lot."
I know. I keep sending people his way, thinking that if I send people there, he'll leave everyone else alone. But it just doesn't work.
Yeah, he doesn't really stop talking, kind of ever.
No, he's... Maybe he'll die out there.
Oh, well, death does come to us all, I guess.
You see Harem's ears perk up when he turns his head. Did someone say death comes to us all?
Can you tell me any stories about this wicked-looking weapon you got?
Oh, yes. No, actually, me and this baby have been on many adventures. Let me tell you about the time, and she tells you a little story. It's a little dark. She doesn't sugarcoat anything. She kind of tells you a warts and all story. But she tells you a pretty decent story. It's not particularly well told, but you can tell that she's being truthful with it.
Oh, an interesting tale.
Thank you. You're a good listener, a rarity, especially at a feast like this. Most people just want to talk about themselves.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Looks over at
Especially
Tartuccio.
one in particular.
What would you like to do?
Can I just do diplomacy? I think that would be
Of course.
most
Always.
fitting.
Oh my
Man.
god.
It's
Yeah.
one hit.
Is that? Okay. It's not quite a crit. But it's quite good. But yeah, so you guys seem to be getting on quite well. It's also worth noting, I guess I didn't really say this, I'm treating all of you sort of cumulatively
As one person.
Okay,
with
okay.
these.
Yeah.
So it's not, so like, Alex's progress with Jathal, she is growing to appreciate the group more. Like, obviously, of the group, she'll have favorites, but
Got it.
you are sort of gaining influence as a unit. Pain. What you got for me?
Excellent. Yeah, I'm going back to Jathal again.
Oh my gosh, everyone's talking to Jathal. Jeez.
Everyone's favorite.
Yeah, I just walk up and be like, hey, I thought you could get rid of me that easy?
It was worth a shot, I suppose.
Come on, you didn't really want me to go away.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry. I need to retcon something real quick. Caleb actually did crit succeed.
Oh, snap.
Ooh.
So
That weakness coming into play.
yeah, exactly. I forgot about that. So yeah, she is even more warmed up to you guys. But sorry, continue. You can't blame me for trying to get rid of you.
Yeah, I'm pretty much just trying to be nice to her,
Sure.
talk to her some more. I'm going for like a more make an impression this time.
Okay. I like it. What role, I guess? That sounds like diplomacy.
Yeah, I'm really bad at diplomacy. I have 0, but
That
I
makes
will
sense.
try it if that's available.
What are there any other skills maybe that you have?
Anything else you can provide?
Just rolling with a 0 is probably going to be like, yeah, you can still do it. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm trying to help you out a little bit here, because obviously you have been spending a lot of time trying to build this rapport, and again, you have a bonus to it. I'm just trying to. Give
Yeah, I
you a
figured
leg up.
because it's your weakness, maybe it would still be okay.
Yeah.
But
No, it's fine. You have a shot at it.
I don't really know what else I would have that would be helpful. Like acrobatics and athletics, nature. I have a little stealth, a little thievery. Or actually, I have a bunch of thievery. But that's
Yeah, I mean, you could rob her, I suppose. That is an option.
that's not helpful.
Yeah, no, I think diplomacy works.
I figured I have my hero points still. So.
And you know what else? Since Kai just crit succeeded with her, I'll even give you I'll throw in a little bonus as well, in addition to the weakness.
So let's roll diplomacy. That's really bad.
Yeah, that is, man.
Okay, let me use my hero point.
Okay. It can't be
oh.
much worse than that.
Yeah. I figured if I got a hero point and I could do 2 rolls, at least one of them would be okay. That's a 1.
Well, it wasn't.
Wow.
Woof.
Wow. Like I
Woof.
said, don't make her hate
But,
us, but here you are.
Yep.
She's polite enough, but she clearly would rather talk to Kai right now than Taenn.
Did you use a hero point to reroll that?
Yep.
If you right-click on it, you can just say use hero point to reroll.
Oh, is that how you do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that is the end of round 4. I just realized I don't actually need to track it. It's tracked on the encounter tracker. As we transition between rounds, there is no more courses. We are out of food, but the servants are still bringing plentiful drink to anyone who, even if their glasses starts to look a little empty, servants will rush over to refill their glass. And Amiri starts loudly telling a story again. Just sort of, no, it doesn't even really seem like she's addressing anyone in particular. She's just sort of loudly launching into this story. But Javier,
Remind me, do we have anything else on Lindsay? Or
I don't think
did I only talk to her the one time?
Just the once.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really has any details. Technically, Kai did talk to her, but that was to get at Federkeil.
Oh yeah. All right. I think Javier is gonna make his way down to Lindsay then. And I think I want to try to gather information by asking about her book. You said she's writing a book.
Yes.
Oh, what are you writing about?
Oh, I am writing a novel. I need inspiration. And I was thinking if I could find a hero, or maybe like a few heroes, they could be my muse, and I could write about their adventures. So I figured what better place to come than a call for heroes, you know?
Yes, this is great source material. For example, many stories being spouted by Amiri across the table.
Yeah, her life is so crazy, and it's actually at where Lindsay's sitting, it's almost hard to have this conversation because Amiri is shouting so loud. She's a bit much. I don't know if she's necessarily what I had in my head, but she fits the bill. She's done some incredible things.
You're searching for a little more truth, veritas.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. What? You said you're kind of fishing for information.
Yeah. I think I wanna, figure out what makes her tick a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. So her 3 discovery options. You've got perception, society, or occultism.
We go with perception on that one.
That makes sense.
So that is this guy.
Yeah.
Oh man, 8.
Man, a lot of 3s.
Yeah, brutal.
Yeah, unfortunately, she's kind of hard to read. Well, she's not really hard to read, but I think what it is that with Amiri shouting right next to you, it's just hard to concentrate and pick up on any subtle cues with her.
Yep.
So that's too bad. What about Dex?
I think Dex is maybe going to go back and talk to Valerie again, although I don't know how to sort of maneuver her away from Miri enough to have a focused conversation.
Oh, I think if you suggest moving away from Amiri, you can see she's sort of like already sort of inched away on the table.
Okay. Maybe Dex will just sort of carry over a sort of goblet of wine and say,
Any interest in just taking a walk around the hall, stepping away from the madness of this table for a moment?
I would love that. Thank you. She gets up and brings her drink.
okay. I think Dex just wants to figure out what makes her tick.
Okay. Alright, so your 3 options for her. Perception, of course, I think perception's an option for all of them. Society, or warfare lore.
Well, you said the magic word. That is society. Can you roll this blind or not?
Blind, please.
Blind, you got it. Here we go.
Wow, you're so good at this. Alright, so you get one of the oh, sorry, I've got to pull up the rules again. It's in a different place. So you get one of the following: skill with the lowest DC, quote-unquote, I feel like the personal biases one kind of stinks, because if you talk to them, I feel like you're doing an okay job. Yeah, right. Like, that one's kind of...
Get it.
We'll just call that one a freebie. I'll just read you her personality thing a little bit. But then you can also pick one of their resistances or one of her weaknesses. So her personality, she is very polite and extremely well-mannered. This hasn't come up much, but it's fairly obvious that she does not really enjoy humor or jokes. She's a very kind of straightforward, straight-laced person.
Okay. Let's go with lowest
Lowest skill check.
Lowest skill check. Alright, so the easiest way to impress Valerie is to act properly and impress her with your decorum via a diplomacy check.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Kinda scans. Hi.
I'm writing that down. Alright. Having had a decent break, he is now headed back to sit by Tartuccio. And turns to him and says, "So, Tartuccio, I'm a little curious with that rather handsome face of yours. Clearly, you've managed to avoid the bleaching, and I was curious if you had any tips or tricks. Hasn't worked out for me so far."
Oh, you poor child. Yes, I will tell you all of my adventures. I find the best way to stave off the bleaching is constant adventure. Why, remember this one time? And he launches into yet another long-winded story. As with a lot of his stories, it's very clearly embellished, and it's not entirely clear how much of it is actually even truthful at all. What are you thinking for this one?
I was thinking just diplomacy.
Diplomacy?
For that one. Yeah.
That works? That works?
So. Right.
Oh my
Man,
god.
Wow.
I'm rolling rocks.
Yeah, what the heck? Is that your second nat 20?
That's my first one.
That's your
I
first
think I
one?
rolled a couple
rolled a nat
19s.
20.
Okay.
I
Well,
could use that.
Sure could have.
the connection, the gnomish connection that you two share really gives you a leg up. And there he is in my notes. And he really goes all out for this story. And it feels like you're, connecting's probably not the right word. It seems like he really enjoys talking to you.
About himself.
Yes, right, he has not asked about you even once.
Quite
He-
one-sided, but yeah.
He sure does enjoy talking. Alright. Taenn, what you got for me?
All right, after my big failure, I'm going a different route.
Back
Okay.
to Jathal.
I think I'm gonna go talk to Amiri. Is that how you say it?
Okay. I've been going Amiri.
Amiri.
Yes. Okay.
Basically, she looks, big, strong, boisterous, like she enjoys strength and stuff like that. So I wanted to try to show off a little bit, maybe maybe do a cool trick with some air, or something to do with a show of strength or a show of skill, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. What?
Basically, I'm
Athletics?
trying to get athletics or acrobatics in there.
Okay. You get the vibe that athletics would probably be better.
Yeah.
She seems to prize strength more so than finesse. But you could try either one.
All right, we'll go athletics,
Okay.
and we'll just roll that. Another
No fucking way.
back to back, back to back, not once.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable.
People keep trying to impress Amiri with feats of strength and
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just fall flat. Whatever you're trying to do just does not pan out. My
That's too bad.
sincerest apologies.
I've been cursed with not only limited skills to work with, but bad rolling.
God. Caleb's
Not a good
curse
combo.
has spread even more. It's more dire than I realized.
That's why my rolls are so good tonight, because I'm sharing it 2 directions.
You know what it is? I think it's because I haven't really rolled anything.
Oh, true.
I'm just
true.
making you all roll, so someone has to get that bad luck.
Yeah.
Alright, and we are back at the top. This will be our last round of trying to impress people.
Alright. We're gonna stick on Lindsay.
Okay.
I'm gonna go for a impression though.
Okay.
And he'll kind of lean into the novel writing aspect a little bit and say, have you found that when you read stories, the swordplay is so amateur. It's not descriptive enough.
Yes, I have always found that, but to be truthful, I'm not an expert. I'm more of a writer, an artist. Maybe you could teach me.
Yeah. Let me help you with some tips. These are, it's so easy, and he'll sort of go into a stance. See, like this, not, and then he'll sort of demonstrate like what you would imagine, sort of a, the equivalent of like a gangster holding his gun sideways. Not this. This is nothing. And he'll sort of explain and sort of like move through some of his fencing motions.
Okay. As you go, she is furiously writing notes in her book. You have her undivided attention. What would you like to roll for this?
Can I do this in a way that it's acrobatics? I guess that's what I was trying to shoot for.
I think if you were anything but a swashbuckler, I would say no. But you're a swashbuckler, so I will allow it.
Alright, so we roll this. Let's go. Yes,
Hey,
thank you, 21.
that's a good roll. Heck yes. Let me run some numbers real quick. I'd say that. Yeah, okay. I think that is actually a critical success.
Sick.
Since you all have done a little bit of legwork here, and you are presenting as very heroic. So yeah, you guys, it goes pretty much as well as we described. She enjoys taking the notes, and it seems like you guys are becoming friends. Dex.
I'm also gonna need to bring some tea with me if I'm gonna keep up this character voice.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think I'll stick with talking with Valerie again this round.
Okay.
I'm trying to think about what would be the next sort of point of conversation. I assume we're just still sort of walking around the hall here and drinking a glass of wine.
Sure.
Maybe want to bring up that something like
It sounds like some at the table would take a more bombastic approach to their movement through the stolen lands. I'm not certain what your belief is, but I would much rather that we talk with the people who already reside in the stolen land to see if we can find some sort of peaceful transition for our teams to move in and find settlements. Because I assume there are indigenous populations here. We won't want to move them out of where they're already at. Do you agree?
I think that's very wise, but perhaps a little naive. I've been given to understand most of the inhabitants are bandits. Generally very hostile. I'm sure there are non-hostile folks there, but I think by and large, have your sword arm ready, or whatever it is you fight with. I do not foresee this being an easy endeavor.
It will be more complicated. I do fight often, but mostly with my mind and with words, if possible. But I do carry a weapon, of course. It is stolen lands after all.
Wait. Yeah.
I was hoping maybe I was going to get more out of her there, but seems like she's maybe her. Do I sense that she's very protective, and the plan is more of when you say decorum, it's more.
She's very sort of prim would not be the right word. She's obviously a warrior, but very proper. She carries herself like a noblewoman, sort of.
Okay.
And I don't know if this really came across, but it's not so much that she is we're gonna have to kill everyone, but a little more pragmatic, that is sort of what this is going to entail.
Got it.
Yes, just trying not to have any illusions of, yes, we'll go and we'll all be great friends, just sort of I know what I'm signed up for, and I know, I have a very clear idea of what my goal is and how I'm going to achieve it.
Okay, so maybe Dex would just try to describe that there's just going to have to be, obviously there's going to be decisions that are made on the fly, but with more information about those places, you can make informed decisions that are much more, take much more thought rather than just barreling our way through.
Okay, I like it. What are you thinking for rolling on that?
I mean, I was thinking maybe diplomacy, but I don't know if there's.
I'd take a diplomacy check. I think that's fair.
Okay.
I think whenever you're talking to people, diplomacy is always a safe bet.
Yep. Blind?
No, these can be public.
Okay, public. You got it.
Yeah. I don't want to put my fingers on the scale, but it's like 11:30. EST.
Hero point.
However, you do take your second roll. Don't forget.
That is true.
Oh, that's what you meant. Because we get one per session, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna re-roll using hero point.
Love it. That is way better. So you're chatting to her and you say something, and she clearly is like, you see her sort of recoil at what you say, and you go, oh no, that's not. I misspoke. What I meant was, and you say something way cooler. And you earn a little bit of her respect.
Okay.
Kai.
Alright. Once again, she's escaping from Tartuccio. And we're headed back to the fave. Good old Jathal.
Gosh.
She's the freaking belle of the ball.
She's cool, man. She's cool. She just goes over to her and says, so, how do you actually know Tartuccio? You guys friends? Well, I assume not, but...
No. They told me to sit here.
Oh, okay. Got it, yeah. Well, you're lucky you're on the end. I got a spot next door.
Yeah, I took the end, and whenever anyone came up, I just glared at them until they walked away.
Oh, wow, that is a really good strategy. I will have to try that. I came in late, though, so...
Yeah,
seat.
That was unlucky. But, sometimes that's just how the adventure path is written,
So it is. Speaking of adventures, you've traveled a lot, right?
I have. All over, actually.
What do you do? Is it adventuring? Mostly?
I suppose that's a good catch-all. Just sort of, whatever needs to be done, whatever needs coin. I usually go for things that aren't too, I've never been like the hero of a town. I'm more of a, sort of the dirty deeds that need to be done, that not everyone has the stomach for. That's usually how I make my money.
I see. I did some adventuring when I was young, but it was with a noble scion of the Orlovsky house, and they didn't really let them get into any dangerous missions, so it wasn't terribly exciting.
Yes, it doesn't sound like it would be.
If you have any suggestions on places to visit or excitement, I would love to hear about them.
I mean, I can think of a few, but honestly, I think the Stolen Lands are going to be your best bet. Unclaimed lands full of bandits and monsters?
Yes, I'm hoping it will bring some amount of joy.
Well, I hope you're right.
I really thought you were going to say, I did some adventuring when I was young, but then I took an arrow to the knee.
He set it up pretty good for that, actually.
Absolutely not.
What would you like to roll for this?
I'm just gonna stick with diplomacy.
Okay.
She's just trying to make friends with Jathal.
I thought you were gonna roll another frickin' 20. I was gonna scream so loud.
It was on the edge there.
It was. But okay. Alright, yeah. That is a success.
Nice.
Jathal is doing quite good.
Nice. As long as Taenn doesn't mess it up.
What are the odds he does it 3 times in a row?
Taenn has kind of been eyeing Magervarn all night,
Okay.
and I think he's gonna walk up to him.
Oh boy, he's gonna ruin it.
He knows he's nobility, so he's, I guess, kind of trying to talk shop a little bit. I have this lore skill politics here I'm trying to make use of.
That is perfect. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, make an impression on him, and we'll see how that goes.
Okay. Yeah. No, I love that. Give me a politics lore.
Hopefully not a 1.
It wasn't a 1.
That's something.
It is something. Yeah, you know what? I will... Yeah, you know what? I think that's good enough. Yeah, it's a little clumsy. He's clearly better versed in politics than you.
Sure.
But it's gotten late enough into the evening, you can tell he's maybe had a few too many, so maybe his defenses have lowered a little bit. Plus, the little bit of rapport building that Dex has done. You managed to make an impression on him. And that concludes the feast. So, before we move on to the next part, let me just do a little bit of quick maths here. Sorry, I just gotta total up our points and see who is getting... basically resolve sort of the results of some of these.
Yep.
That'll be...
What was the dwarf's name again?
The dwarf
Harim.
is Harim.
Harim, that's right.
Yeah.
Harem,
Yes.
got it.
Yeah, Harim.
Arm. I was about to say Grotus, but I was like, no, wait.
That's the name of the god.
That's the god. Our 2-hour in-game time took about an hour and a half real time.
Alright, well, whatever. So, the feast is sort of, it's winding down a little bit, and you all get one last, basically, so Tartuccio calls over Kai, as things are sort of winding down. It's like, yes, my friend, my new friend, here, this is for you.
Oh, wow.
And he
What is he?
hands you a brooch.
Interesting. Tartuccio, that's so kind of you. Thank you so much.
Anything for my new allies. I look forward to working with you. Well, really you working with me in the Stolen Lands.
Oh, yes, same here, same here. What is this, brooch?
Yeah, why don't you roll me a, identification check.
Alright. There's an occultism.
That's it's a cool brooch, huh? It's pretty cool.
If I could ask Tartuccio, what, it is very pretty, but what does it do? I sense some magic.
Oh, silly me. I should have known it would be a little beyond your grasp.
Oh, man.
This guy.
We call it a brooch of shielding.
I see. Wow.
Let me see. Can I just drag this? Does that work? No, that didn't work at all. Yeah, you can just add it to your character sheet.
Okay.
Basically, what it does is it will absorb magic missiles.
Oh, wow.
Or
Nice.
that's probably not what it's called anymore.
Yeah. Force barrage.
Force barrage. Yes, it will absorb 30 of those.
Oh, wow.
Nerdy.
Oh,
But
it's
then
like I see. It's not like a use thing. It's like an always on.
Well, you have to wear it.
Right, sure, yeah.
But yes, then it will absorb 30, and then it will no longer be usable.
That's crazy.
Awesome. That is so kind of you, Tortuccio. Thank you. I hope I can get some good use out of it while we're out in the Stolen Lands.
I'm sure we will. Sorry, I need to roll. Hopefully you don't see me roll this. Okay, cool. Next, Mager Varn calls over to Dex. Ah, yes, my friend, I look forward to our relationship growing in the future. And I just realized he doesn't actually have any item to give. But he does reiterate his, you truly must come visit me. Once we've both established our kingdoms.
Yes, of course. Definitely journey to the east to find you.
Yes. Please, I would be more than honored to have you.
Real quick,
and
what direction is the Stolen Lands again?
it is east.
It is east, okay.
Yeah, sort of southeast.
Bruh.
Okay.
Bruh.
I was just wondering if it was matching up or not.
Taenn, you're sort of sitting there enjoying your drink, and Jaethal kind of comes around, and she slides you. She puts down a scroll in front of you. And she says, "Look, I know it was a little awkward, but I appreciate the effort. I hope we get to work together in the future."
That is so kind after I made a fool of myself over there.
Seems like you have a lot of heart.
And what exactly is this?
Oh, it's a scroll of restoration.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, dang.
That's very appreciated. I hope I can return the favor soon.
I do as well. And she leaves. And then Javier, as you are finishing up showing Lindsay your various sword techniques, she looks up and she does a little like round of applause. She's like, oh, I have something that I think, and she starts rummaging around her bag, and she pulls out these two little, they just kind of look like trinkets. One looks like a cat, and one actually looks like a panther.
Nice.
And she offers them to you. And they are talismans.
Ooh.
Talisman, I don't know if we've talked about talismans before, but basically they are a single-use item. You attach them to a weapon, and you can basically activate them for a special effect.
Oh. How apt El Jaguar. He'll sort of caress the panther.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. I heard you telling that story about the panther, and that's like so perfect, right?
Yes. Very much appreciated. This will be put to use.
Good. I hope it helps. So those are, one is, how do you identify talismans? I don't know.
I think it's the same skills.
Same skills?
Yeah, I think their talismans are generally pretty easy. Actually,
Okay.
I think if you like put it in the stash and then hit the question mark button on it to mystify it,
Oh,
and then
yes.
you click it, it'll give you the DC.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let me try that. If I just drag it into the stash, is it going to be pre-mystified? No, it's not.
No, I think you can actually control drag it to pre-mystify it, maybe.
Okay, well, it's too late. I was quick enough. Okay, so in the party stash now are two unusual objects.
Wait, how do we get to that?
So on the
I
actors
see.
page, yeah, you
Yep.
got it.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, cool, great. And hopefully we can figure out how to demystify those later. But for now, as the feast is drawing to a close, I have new music.
Oh.
It's a little bit laggier than I was hoping for. Come on. Sorry, give me just
started for me.
Fire.
Did it start?
Oh yeah.
Okay, great, good. But there it is. Okay, it just started for me. Loud bells, not that loud, but a bell rings. And the servants there's sort of an explosion of activity as the servants rush around to clean up any lingering dishes and bring any, refill anyone's drinks who still are drinking. And Lady Jamandi at the front table rises, and she addresses everyone. My friends, Lady Jamandi says, I hope you've enjoyed the food and drink this evening. And there's a loud round of cheers from everyone as she says this. And there's a wave of people tapping their goblets on the table. It takes quite a while before the room grows quiet enough again for her to continue. A broad smile kind of comes across her face, and she says, You honor me, truly, but this night is for you. As heroes, you have responded to my call, and I cannot wait to hear the tales of your exploits in the weeks and months to come. Tomorrow, I shall speak with you all about your individual charters. I suspect it will be a busy day, so I suggest we make an early evening of it. After all, you have a kingdom to plan. And once again, a wave of cheers kind of explodes throughout the room, and more people kind of clinking their glasses. And you look over and you see that Amiri got a little overexcited and has completely shattered the goblet that she was drinking from. But a servant quickly comes over and brings her a fresh one. Lady Jamandi, once it quiets down a little bit, she sort of does a grand gesture towards, from our map, the left side. And she says, Of course, I've arranged bed chambers for all of you. My guards will escort them to you now. I hope you find them restful. We shall speak further tomorrow when we meet back here at sunrise. And then she stands, and her and the Lord Mayor take their leave.
Okay.
And yeah, people start filing out. Guards, as Lady Jamandi had said, start coming to sort of escort people. One thing of note... Sorry, I seem to have froze a little bit here. But if you can see the table to the top left, you notice they've been here this whole time. I didn't really call attention to them, but they are very well equipped. And they clearly are all a unit. The armor is identical. They look like professionals. As everyone sort of stands and guards start escorting people to where they need to get towards the west wing, which is to our left here, you see they all sort of in unison get up, and they march out the front doors.
Oh. Did they have any kind of symbol or icon on their armor?
Yes, they would have. Why don't you roll me a society check?
Could I offer Brevoy lore?
Yes, I would take that.
Nice.
Okay. Let me see if I can find any extra information about these guys. I need to just Google them.
Sorry.
No, it's all good, it's all good. Okay, so you would recognize them. They are the Iron Wraiths.
Iron Wraiths?
Wow. Iron Wraiths. They are a very well-respected mercenary company. You don't really know a whole lot about them beyond that. You just know the name, and that they are not a group to be taken lightly. But it seems they are not staying the night here.
Okay. Good name.
That's a good name. But yeah, eventually a guard does sort of come up to you. If you'll follow me, I can take you all to your room.
Are we all 4 in the same room?
Yes, I hope that's okay.
I guess.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I sleep in my clothes.
Oh, that's weird.
But yeah, he will lead you to your rooms when you are ready, and I think this is a pretty good spot to end.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
All right, first session in the bag.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's only
Nobody
like 2 nat
even
ones
died.
on Alex's character.
Yep. Died.
Yep.
Man.
It's a trend. We're starting it. It's a trend. It's gonna keep happening.
It's a meme. That's what it is.
Yeah. We had
That's
a couple
fun
nat
feast.
20s too.
Yeah.
Caleb had a few nat 20s.
I just had the one. Aaron had one, I think, too.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it looks like you and me.
Oh, forgot the Iron Wraiths have their own theme music. Hang on, I'm gonna play this real
Wow.
quick. Yeah, I
Ooh,
should have
heck
played this
yeah.
when they left. Sorry, I don't think it lets me start new music until the other one has stopped completely and it fades it out.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's happening. So I should stop it way before I find what I'm looking for. Oh, I think it's just being really slow right now.
I can
It's
hear it. I
coming
hear
through.
it.
Okay, it's just slow for me, maybe.
Intense.
They don't mess around.
Yeah,
Really?
clearly not.
Pretty epic.
Yeah.
Well,
I like them.
yeah. I don't have a wrap-up planned.
Great.
No problem.
It's okay.
That was fun feast. I'm excited to learn more about these characters.
Yes, I don't know if I
Super
feel
cool.
like I didn't mention this, but this AP has a companion-specific book that describes all these NPCs
Yeah.
for you guys to potentially adventure with.
Nice.
That's great.
So,
You have the physical book, huh?
So yet another book for you to have to read through.
Yeah.
don't worry, I've read kind of more or less all of the books. So I know I'm there, I'm in. I'm
Nice.
good. Dialed in.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys...
Companions.
So we
How does that work?
we can figure it out as we go. My thought, sort of right off the bat was, they have stats, so they
Yeah.
absolutely could join you on an adventure. Sort of my thought was, if you wanted to bring one of them like into combat,
Yeah.
I would probably limit you to just one. And I would definitely, your XP would be less, because you have your group of 5 now instead of just a
Sure.
group of 4. I think that would probably keep things balanced. That's something we'd probably have to play with if you decide you want to actually bring one
As
along
an
with you.
idea, you could also play them like an animal companion or something, where you spend an action and they get 2, or something like that.
Yeah. I thought
Just
about
throwing it out
that as
there.
well. Yeah, that's definitely a way we could do it. I worry that then they are kind of a little useless. I worry that they would end up not being, and I feel like it would be harder to bring their personality across, because then it's more you're
Yeah.
just telling them what to do.
That's
And I
true.
think part of the fun of having them is that they are out there mixing it up with you guys. But that is definitely something that we will need to kind of fine-tune, if that's what you guys end up wanting to do. And there's also, like, even if you don't want to bring them with you, it's not like, okay, they don't show up at all. This is gonna be a ways off, but there's rules for camping, and they can give you bonuses. if you hang out with them at camp, and a lot of them have like side quests that you can go on and stuff.
Gotcha.
Nice.
So it's not like, oh, we don't want to have them so they don't show up at all. It's just there will be different forms available to you.
It's gonna be like Baldur's Gate 3 with a full party of 4 players.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's cool. I'm excited. I hope you guys had fun with that.
Yeah.
And I promise next time will be a little more action-packed.
Okay, sweet.